Good Sunday evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Emily Walls with Fox 32 Chicago, and we had a sunny weekend, although it was hazy sunshine for the entire weekend. We've unfortunately been dealing with wildfire smoke that's been blanketing the area, not just here in the Chicagoland region, but really all across the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes region. We've all been dealing with poor air quality, and because of that, we still have our air quality alert that's going to remain in effect for a good portion of the Chicagoland area through at least midnight tonight, but I really wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing this extended into your Monday. But as it stands right now, it's expected to expire tonight at midnight. Here's a check of your current air quality. So the time right now is just shortly after 6:30 p.m. And you can see that we have that orange shading across the far northwestern sections of Chicagoland, and that's listed as sensitive. What that means is that the air quality is considered to be unhealthy for sensitive groups. So if that includes you, you're really going to want to limit your exposure outdoors. Of course, no exercising outside, and just stay inside, lay low if you can. Everywhere else highlighted in yellow here is in the moderate category, which means that it's typically considered to be acceptable for most individuals. So when we're talking about air quality, what we're talking about is the air quality index, something called the AQI. And for those of you that may not be familiar with what the numbers look like, typically anything less than 100, that's considered to be acceptable for most individuals. Although for those of you that are in sensitive groups, if you're overly sensitive to poor air quality, then you're still probably feeling some effects. But once we start to get into that slightly unhealthy category there in orange, down to the red, definitely down into the purple, that's when all of us really need to be taking some steps. And unfortunately, on and off throughout the weekend, we've been seeing some pretty poor air quality across the region. So that's what it all shows and what it means, and what goes into it are a couple things, but what we're most concerned about is that wildfire smoke, which actually comes down to particle pollution. So we have those small microscopic particles that we end up breathing in. They can get into our bloodstream, and then we end up seeing some issues because of that. So that's air quality kind of explained for you there, but unfortunately I still think that we're going to be dealing with at least some effects of that wildfire smoke even into the early portion of this work week. Your high temperatures today, it was gorgeous. We ended up topping out in the upper 70s and low 80s, so really comfortable conditions. Dew point temperatures were also nice and low in the 50s, which means we really didn't feel that humidity at all. And here's where we're headed. So we have very seasonable conditions Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, we're starting to kick the heat up another notch, and then we are in the 90s by the end of this work week. Thursday and Friday, we're counting on low to mid 90s. The humidity, that's really going to be rising as well. Satellite and radar, things are quiet for us. We have clear skies other than that haze from the smoke. Futurecast taking us throughout this evening and tonight. You'll notice that we're going to remain mostly clear. There could be a couple higher level clouds here or there tomorrow morning, mainly near and south of I-80, and then possibly even a couple stray showers during the afternoon. But the chance for that is very, very low. I think just about all of that will likely end up staying south of the area. Temperatures tomorrow are going to be in the mid 80s, and then going into Tuesday, it's almost the same exact forecast. We're going to be partly cloudy through much of the day. We'll have highs that are going to be in the mid 80s, and then a pop-up shower or thunderstorm could be possible in the afternoon. For tonight, we're planning on lows in the mid 60s for most of the area in the Chicago metro, but once you get away from the city and especially farther inland, we're very easily dropping down to the upper 50s tonight. Your 7-day forecast tomorrow, hazy skies, 84 degrees, 85, small chance for a stray shower or a storm on Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're dry. The heat, that's going to be kicking up. Same thing with the humidity. We're in the low to mid 90s Thursday, Friday, and Saturday before a cold front comes through. Saturday night into Sunday, that should bring our temps back down to the 80s, and it's also going to come along with the chance of some rain, which, by the way, is a very good thing because much of the area is still considered to be in a moderate drought.